So we all know that e-bikes are great fun for a quick blast around your local trails. But how good are they on an epic day in the saddle? So we've come to Commencal in South Wales to try and find out.
To find out how good e-bikes are over long distances, whether the batteries are going to last or whether weight and wheel size make a difference.
So we've set ourselves a bit of a challenge.
Well, a race really.
But it's not a race about pure speed. It's about intelligence and tactics. You can run it in boost mode as much as you want, but you're not going to get very far. You've heard of the tortoise and the hare, right?
So we're going to ride as many laps of Commencal to find out just how far we can go before the batteries run out then.
No, that's where you're wrong. We're going to ride from here to Avon.
What?
Yep, that's right. We're going to ride 67 kilometres to be precise, and 2,000 metres of climbing.
How are we going to get there?
GPS.
Well, in that case, last one to Glencorrig buys the drinks then.
About to get to the top of Commencal, Forest Drive. Taking about 10 minutes. Effortless pedalling. Our motors are singing sweetly. We're not singing particularly sweetly.
No, you did right though.
But look at this. And we're heading that way. The bike I've chosen for this challenge is Canyon's brand new Spectral On 8.0. It's one down from the top model, and the reason I've chosen it is because it's an incredibly well thought out machine. It's designed to ride as closely to a normal mountain bike as possible, so there's been a real focus on geometry, weight distribution and suspension performance. One of the main things Canyon's engineers have done is mix and match the wheel sizes. Much like a motocross bike, there's a larger diameter 29-inch front wheel for precise steering and excellent rollover, paired up with a smaller diameter 27.5-inch rear wheel with a plus-size tyre for excellent traction. The battery is mounted low and central in the frame, so there's a special saddle with a kicked-up tail that lets you really drive against the cranks on steep climbs. No stone was left unturned when Canyon designed the Spectral On, and I know it's going to be the perfect bike for this challenge. Right, ready boys, about to drop into our first proper descent.
Yep.
Looks pretty fruity. What are you going for? What mode? Full shit my pants mode?
Yeah, I've gone for the eco, possibly like parachute mode. I think that's my favourite.
Right.
I don't even really need an e-bike for this descent.
Oh, I'm pedalling all the way. Don't you? Anyway, hopefully we'll make it out the other side.
Bon voyage.
I'm gonna pedal up and do the whole thing.
So when Commencal set out to make an e-bike, they had one goal in mind: to make a bike that rode like the Meta AM, but with the added benefit of a battery. At the heart of the Meta Power is the Shimano Steps motor and battery. It boasts 250 watts of power, 70 Newton meters of torque, and has a 500 watt-hour external battery. The underbar shifter gives you access to 3 power modes, and the screen is tucked neatly out of harm's way next to the stem. The aluminium frame boasts 150 millimetres of travel via the 4-bar contact system suspension. By designing this 2-piece top tube that cradles the shock, Commencal have created acres of standover clearance. And I reckon the orange paint on the fork alone is worth an extra 10% of speed. This is a serious bike for serious terrain, and I reckon it's going to kick ass on the trails around here.
Right, climbing challenge number 1 of the day, boys, I think.
Climbing challenge?
Yeah, I bet you can't get up that.
No, I bet you can't.
I bet you can't. I said it first.
I bet you a bar of battery.
No, well, you know, I don't. Ladies first. You're a native of Wales.
Oh yeah.
It's your hometown. Go on,
I think we should really go age order. So I think the old man on the posh orange bike maybe should go first.
You know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to get away.
Right, go. There's no way!
So it's pretty impressive. I didn't think it was going to make it up that.
I mean, either.
Here comes old XC Pro. Oh, he's failed within about 5 yards of the bottom. Oh well. Now you hold the button down, and then you put one foot in front of the other.
Oh!
And you can use the bike as like a walking stick.
Now I do a fair amount of cross-country racing, so I'm always drawn to a light bike. And with this compact battery and carbon frame, the Focus Jam Squared Carbon 29 is a seriously impressive weight for an e-bike. And the best thing about having such a light weight is it means the motor doesn't have to work as hard. The result? Your batteries last longer. It also means it handles like a normal mountain bike. The Focus has a modular battery system, something they call TEC, or Tailored Energy Concept. There's a 378 watt-hour battery cleverly hidden in the down tube here, so for shorter rides, but if you want to go longer, you can fit a piggyback battery to the down tube to effectively double your range. And because Focus have designed it so it draws power from the extra battery pack first, when this is empty, you can simply remove it, stash it, and end up with the lightest, fastest bike. It has 29-inch wheels front and rear, so it's going to roll with much less effort. The Jam Squared really is 2 bikes in one. Those other 2 aren't going to know what's hit them.
That's a pretty cool view, eh?
So as you can probably see by the big wind turbines over there, we now made it to Avon Forest, and sun's still shining. Batteries, well, the lights on the batteries are just about shining. So pretty much going to be a race to the finish now. We've sort of stuck together. We can now just completely rinse our batteries.
Put it on the yellow, put it on the boost.
Yeah, let's pedal to the metal. So yeah, last one.
Last one's he's gone. That's fine. You don't even know the way, do you?
So Commencal to Avon on e-bikes. That was a pretty formidable challenge.
Anyone that says that e-bikes are cheating Should have been out on those bikes with us. That was a brutal day.
There's only one word really you can use to describe that entire experience, and that was probably relentless.
It was a battle.
Yeah.
It was.
We went to war that day.
But it was a good challenge though.
I really enjoyed it. I thought, you know, not the sort of thing that you would ever even really contemplate on a regular bike. There's not a kind of long stretch of fire road where you can just bimble along at 20 miles an hour and cover a load of ground. You're always sort of fighting to claw ground and kind of cover the distance, which, you know, that's where those bikes really came into their own.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They just turn climbs, impossible climbs on a regular bike into another fun challenge.
The Germans have a term for it, don't they? It's called uphill flow.
Uphill flow. Cool.
We found the uphill flow.
I think we did.
But the other thing we worked out is that you've really got to manage your battery. You had the piggyback system.
I had the piggyback system, so that did give me effectively more capacity in total.
Obviously, you had the slightly smaller capacity batteries, but when you took off your sort of second one, then you had by far the lightest bike. And I mean, we all found that probably I think you'd agree the kind of the bikes were very close to riding normal bikes.
Yeah.
There really didn't feel like there was the kind of that weight penalty that the older e-bikes used to have. They've really come on in that respect, and yours was probably the best in that regard, wasn't it?
It was, and I think I tried a couple of times, like obviously from that range anxiety, turning the motor off, and actually, you know, I was pedaling on the flat, and it's heavier than a normal bike, but it still pedalled quite well. I was a bit jealous of the Commencal because, you know, it was a pretty good looking bike though, with your forks and everything. It's good. What do you think?
Yeah, the orange fork did make it quite trick, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cracking bike. Fun and
agile,
chuckable and agile, but then it also felt really planted at the same time, and loads of grip and loads of traction, and it had the wide trail tyres, so you know, big chunky tyres, loads of grip.
You were on the Canyon, and the Canyon's a bit of a strange beast in some respects, isn't it? Because you've got sort of like the different wheels.
Different wheel sizes, so that seems to be something that a few brands playing with. Because the diameters are so similar, it doesn't feel quirky at all when you're cornering it. They've thought about everything on it really. You've even all the little details, like, you know, the saddle, big brakes, big bars. It's all about kind of control, big tyres. You need big stuff on e-bikes because you've got all that power, all that grunt. The extra weight doesn't really matter.
If we're going to do another little challenge, would you choose to do another e-bike thing like this again, or is this like sort of open up an entire world of like exploring and play?
Well, I totally. I mean, you know, I'm not as fit as I once was, but you can do stuff like that, and you can be fresh, and you can really enjoy it, rather than maybe just surviving it. And I think that's you know what's great about it, and it just opens up that potential.
As we found out, you know, it can be done, and it can be done pretty well and pretty enjoyably, even if cafes are shut when we get to the end. So.
Well, yeah, that was.
Well, we won't. We'll stop now. It's still fresh. It's still bitter.
So. I think we can all agree we're all winners in this challenge. Even, you know, we set out to see who was the best, but I think we can all just call it quits and say we all won that. What do you reckon?
E-bikes were the winner.
Well,
E-bikes were the winner.